Merry meet everyone, this is Anastasia Autumnfire, and today is day 13 of my 30 days of Samhain crafting. Tonight I am making my Ancestor candle. This is a candle that will be kept on the inside on Samhain, but burning on my Ancestor altar in honor of my ancestors. Although I am creating it for Samhain, it will be something that I keep up after Samhain and just keep as a dedication and honoring to my ancestors. What I basically did was, I cannot remember the name of it now. Let's see if it says on the bottom. Of course not. It's basically a fall candle that Glade had put out. It's like an apple orchard or some such of a thing. It just smells like apple. And apples for me are very much tied to the ancestors. My matron goddess Hel, they are very sacred to her, as in Northern tradition it is said she planted an orchard of apples to feed the dead. It is the food of the dead. Samhain is also known as the Feast of Apples. Apples are very crucial when it comes to my honoring of the ancestors and working with the ancestors. So I played around with many different ideas for candles, and I always wanted it to have an apple scent to it for this purpose. So normally when I find an apple scented candle, it's apple cinnamon, and I love cinnamon and I love apples and I love apple cinnamon, but for this I felt very strongly that it just be purely apple without any cinnamon scent or any additional scent to it. So I almost just, I don't know how to make candles yet. I don't have the equipment, but I was very close to getting just a plain candle and getting the scent that you use for candle making to make an apple candle. But I found this and I love the scent. It's a little softer. It's not just in your face, so I like that. And then of course I just decorated the jar of it. I do work with a lot of jarred candles just because it helps me being able to put it on my altar and have it sit there and not have to worry, oh gosh, is wax getting all over the place? Is the flame getting too out of control? Is the holder not holding it up right? It's just a little bit more peace of mind. And I like decorating the jars a bit. So on the front here, what we have is my crow. And I drew that freehand. I'm not an artist. I know one wing is bigger than the other, but I still really like it. I was proud of myself with how it came out. And I do have a little bit of symbolism in here. We have 3 little rungs of feathers and 3 rungs of feathers here on that wing, and then 3 on the tail feather. So we've got 3, 6, 9. So we do have the triple goddess number represented, which I like. And then in the witch's alphabet, I have basically the intent behind the candle. It spells out, we honor the ancestors and the loved ones who have passed on. And that kind of runs the length of the front of the candle. And then on the back, I have Cernunnos' sigil, which I created. And it's not necessarily a sigil because a sigil is supposed to be a spell put into a monogram or form. It's more of a monogram for Cernunnos. And then I also have Hel's monogram. Then I have one for me. And the one I made for me, I do have another one which is done with the sigil formula, without vowels and repeated letters taken out, and then you work with those. But for this one, when I first found my witchy name of Anastasia Autumnfire, this was the first one I had made. The AA, and then it's supposed to be a maple leaf but the leaf part is supposed to be like a fire, but it ends up just kind of looking like a clump. But I know what it's supposed to be, so I like it. And then when I did a sigil or an anagram or a monogram or however you look at it, using the sigil formula, I incorporated the Sagittarius arrow and the Gemini twin. There we go. That's the way to see it. My sun sign is Sagittarius, but my moon sign is Gemini. So I like including those now in my original AA. And this is actually a take on a symbol that they use in a West African tribe. I'm blanking on it now, and I'm so irritated. I didn't write it down. It basically is how they look at their ancestors. Go back and get it. It's the idea of you have to go back to your past. You have to go back through your ancestors to gain wisdom, to gain knowledge. And I love, 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 love that. And that is definitely how I look at ancestor work. And I didn't feel right taking their symbol just because in no way am I connected to Africa, or let alone a West African tribe. I just felt a little wrong. So I took the heart symbol from that. And then in the symbol, these go into 2 more spirals, and then there's kind of a shot out here, and a shot out down. So it looks like roots almost. So I have the heart. I didn't go into spirals on the side, but I kept the spirals inward. And then I have 3 prongs shooting out, so that's kind of looking up to the divinity, to the divine. Then I have 3 dots, 2 without, 1 within. I also look at it as maiden, mother, crone type of a analogy. I put a spiral because the spiral is very symbolic to me for the goddess and the womb and just kind of that motherly feeling. And then I have 3 prongs kind of repeating what we have above. So this time reaching down to our roots, reaching below, reaching to the ancestors. So again, we have those 3, 3, and 3 as above, so below and within. And again, 3, 3, and 3, triple goddess, tripled. So that is all of the symbolism and drawings that I placed on my candle. Now I am going to, I put in my 4 holes for earth, air, fire, and water, north, east, south, and west. And I know I'm pretty sure I've said this in other videos as well. I do represent earth first before I do other, sorry, you got a wonderful shot of my hand there. I do go to the earth or to the north first as opposed to the east, which I know is more traditional, I found. But I do it my way. So I have my Ancestor oil, which I have a video on, so you've seen how I've made that. And I just dressed the candle with that oil by putting it in there. And it's my holes, I may not have made all that great, so I'm going to get in there and kind of widen them a bit. And for this, all I'm doing is using a metal skewer. I believe I got this at the dollar store. It is a metal skewer, however, that is used purely for magical purposes. So it isn't did it again, sorry. So it isn't something where there's a chance it will be used for a mundane purpose. It is just for my witchy crafting. So I've got the oil in there. Next, I have my crystals that I'm using for Samhain. We have carnelian, amethyst, onyx, and quartz, clear quartz. So I'm going to do this a little different. I'm going to have to add another symbol to the jar part. I need to add the good folk somewhere. It all of a sudden hit me. I'm missing it. These crystals normally signify Lord, Lady, and good folk. And then if I add the fourth, then it's to represent the spirits of the elements. For this one, I am going to do it a bit differently because this is an ancestor candle. And I have the drawings for my personal goddess that I work with, the god that I work with. And I am going to add, I'm not sure where I'm going to add it, but I will add my good folk symbol somewhere on here, I think. I'm not sure on that. I might be good with the... I'm going to meditate on that to see if I need to add that. Anyway, so what I've decided to do with this is to add the stone in correlation to an element. So for carnelian, actually I need to start with earth. Earth, I'm going to go with an onyx. Onyx is about grounding and protection and kind of establishing that foundation. Then we have air. I'm going to use my clear quartz. Clear quartz is a great all-around crystal. It is great for power amplification, and for me that relates very heavily to the sky. You know, at any time you have, we charge our crystals, we put them out in the moon so that the moon's energies can amplify their powers. Same thing with certain crystals in the sun, like a citrine, a sunstone, things like that. You're going to put them out in the sun as opposed to the moon. Oils I put out in the sun and the moon, things like that. We use their energies to amplify things, the celestial bodies of the sky, so it makes sense that the sky would correlate with that. At least for me it does. It makes sense to me. It's my craft, so that's what matters. If and when you make your ancestor candle, it will make sense to you. That wasn't meant bratty if it came off bratty. I was just kind of going off on a tangent. Okay, so for fire, or the south, we are using carnelian. That is very much a fiery based stone. I absolutely love it. The more I work with it, the more I just enjoy it. And then we have lovely piece of amethyst to round it out for the west, for water, to connect us to that spirit and divine power. All right, so there it is. I am going to do something a little differently. I've got the oil. I'm going to draw a pentagram in my candle. And it's a little wonky because I am by no means an artist, and my skewer keeps wanting to go a little bit down further than it should. Yeah, my star looks a little special. And I go through it 3 times. I don't want it that deep. And then I'm just connecting the points with the circle. And that's what you have. I'm not very good with carving. It just felt right in that moment, so I decided to do it. And then what I'm going to do, normally I would put maybe a simple herbal blend over the top of it. For this, I am going to use my Ancestor salt. If you have not seen that video, please do. It goes through everything that I put in here and how I made it. So if it strikes you that you would like to, you certainly can. If you're not sure how to. Not everyone has their own way of doing things. I certainly don't mean to sound like you have to follow my way. In fact, I think everyone should find their own ways. Make it special. Make it yours. All right. So there we go. The salt is just all over the place. Trying to spread it out, make it a little more pretty, but that is the inside and the outside. And the only thing I will say is when you do, if you do, I should say, put an herbal blend loosely on the top of a candle like this, you do want to push it out to the outer rim of the candle. If you have it in the center and you light it, it's all going to kind of go in and clump around that wick, and that wick is going to get suffocated. And that's nishkit. No good. Not good for anyone. All right. I'm going to add a little bit more now that I look at it when it's where it needs to be. It's looking a little sad around the edges. Okay. A little more right over here. All right, so there we are. My Ancestor candle, all ready to go. And I didn't mention this, but I want to real quick. The crow I chose because for me, that is the messenger between this world and the next. Between the spirit realm and this realm. The crow I do signify very heavily with my matron goddess Hel. It is my personal kind of messenger totem. But whenever I think of communication between the spirit realm and this realm, it is a crow that comes to mind. So that is why I chose the crow. Not because it is such a connection to my matron goddess. I did just want to kind of put that out there. So yeah. So that is my Ancestor candle. I hope you liked this video. Please like, subscribe. We have a bit more journeying to do on this endeavor, and yeah, it's getting closer. It's getting exciting. I do have at least one more witchy haul. I went to Michael's today and was shocked. They already have all their Halloween stuff kind of condensed to one aisle, and all their Christmas stuff is out. So I had to quickly buy everything I saw that I was like, oh, I'll come back for it. I'll come back for it. So many things are gone, and it just made me so sad. But yeah, so I will have that coming up soon. I've been feeling the need to do a video rambling on Hel since I did one for Carnunos. It's been on my mind, and yeah, a few other things in the workings. I hope you guys have an amazing night. Many blessings. I will see you tomorrow for day 14, and blessed be as always. Bye, guys.